do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be praised by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you give alms, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your alms may be done in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so as to show others that they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may be seen not by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And by your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. The Gospel of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. There is something so countercultural about Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday is a celebration that seems to go against the way we usually think or act. I realized that again yesterday when I went out driving in my neighborhood looking for Ash Wednesday decorations on the houses. Houses in our neighborhood like to decorate. There, of course, there's Christmas decorations, and right now there's Valentine's decorations, and very soon there will be St. Patrick's Day decorations. So, of course, I went looking for Ash Wednesday decorations. I was thinking maybe strings of black lights on houses, or ashes on the doorway, or little triangular banners floating from the gutterways made out of sackcloth with the words, "We all die on them." But there was none of that to be found. I guess I wasn't too surprised. We live in a world in our own minds where we just imagine that we will live forever. And where we also like to pretend that everything is just fine, and we like to put a good front on for people, and we want to shine in our lives, and we want to pretend that everything is good. And death and ashes just seem so morbid and hopeless. They just don't fit into our notion of the good life that we want to be living. The we who gather here tonight know that tonight, as we speak of death and ashes, we do not do that in a sense of being morbid or hopeless. Ash Wednesday is a serious celebration, but it is not about being morbid and hopeless. It is actually a festival in which we celebrate honesty and hope and life. Another way of saying that would be to say, what do the ashes do? Later on in the service, you'll have the opportunity to receive the ashes on your forehead. What do those ashes do? What do those ashes do? They celebrate the honesty that frees us. They celebrate the honesty that frees us, but they also are based in the hope of a God who holds us and fills us, and a God who comes to bring us new life. And another way of expressing that is when the ashes are put on, there's three purposes. They are for cleansing, they are a catalyst for change, and they also are signs of a new creation. Those are the three things I like to talk about: cleansing and catalyst and new creation. Some of you remember that it's been about 15 years now, but I went with a group of people from Beautiful Savior on a tour to Turkey and Greece. We followed the pathway of St. Paul traveling through Asia churches in different cities, and so we went to those different Pauline sites. But I remember one day walking along in a coastal town in Turkey, and we were going down their very nice business street, and we walked by a very high-class cosmetics boutique. And with all the displays right up in the very front part of the store on the street, there was a very flashy display of cosmetics that were all labeled Dead Sea Beauty products. And I kind of laughed when I saw that, because when I think about the Dead Sea, I think about a Dead Sea. You read about it in the Gospels, or you can read about it on National Geographic. The Dead Sea is the sea that's at the bottom of the Jordan River. The Jordan River flows down the whole length of Israel, and it dumps everything, all of its sediment and everything into the Dead Sea. And the Dead Sea is surrounded by mountains, so the water can't go anywhere, the mud can't go anywhere. It just fills up that Dead Sea. And the Dead Sea is so salty, the water evaporates, leaving all this stuff there. It's so salty and so full of sediment that the fish have died, the plant life have died, the algae have died. It's a Dead Sea. But cosmetic makers discovered that if you scoop up the sediment off of the bottom of the Dead Sea, that what's accumulated there is a very finely ground, gritty, and actually quite pure mineral content. It's a fine powdered dust in a way. And cosmetic people have discovered that if you put it into a nice tube with some oil and some nice lavender scent, it becomes a wonderful cosmetic that you put on your face at night, and it burrows into the pores, and it cleanses the pores, and you wash it all off, and in the morning your skin has gone from death to life. Dead Sea Beauty products. Well, I still laugh when I think about that, but tonight, the image also helps me picture, what do the ashes do? We talk about these ashes for cleansing. And we come tonight to have the ashes cleanse us. We come tonight to receive the ashes on our forehead because we need them to open us, to cleanse us. If we're ever going to be the people of beauty and of joy and of life as God pictures us, then we need cleansing, because we accumulate layers of grief and fear in our lives. We go through life and we accumulate layers of fears. We get clogged with old hurts and old resentments and old angers. And it's not just each one of us that gets layered like this, that our life gets clogged like this. It's our relationships, it's our families, and our families too. We want to get along with each other, we want to be caring towards each other. But our families get clogged up with patterns of miscommunication and of hurt and so forth. And our world, you look at the world around us, and our world is layered with anger and resentment and ethnic suspicion and warfare. We are people that wanting to be free, but we've accumulated this, and we need cleansing. And so tonight on Ash Wednesday, by the grace of God, the ashes come to us as a sign. As a sign for how God comes to cleanse us. How God comes to cleanse us. And so these ashes tonight, they're ashes of our confession. They're ashes of us very honestly saying to God, what is it that we carry? And what is it that hurts us? And what is it that we're burdened by? And what is it that's getting in the way of being truly alive? The ashes come to open us and to cleanse us tonight. God does not want to leave us trapped. And so that's the first gift. The gift is that the ashes bring cleansing. But the ashes also come as a catalyst, as a change agent, so that we can begin to live again. We who have been cleansed also need the power to live again. Dust you are, and to dust you shall return. Those are the words that we hear when we receive the ashes. The stark message of Ash Wednesday is that you and I will die. We come from dust and we return to dust. We will not live forever. In fact, we may not live through this week. We may not live until tomorrow morning. There's no guarantees on the span of our life. Dust we are, and to dust we shall return. That's the reality that we deal with. And when we hear those words, those are meant to be shock words, because they're meant